Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I know, I'm slowly making it there. Very appreciative of everyone who has came around, who has watched videos, who has subscribed, liked, commented. I appreciate it so much, so thank you so much. I just want to throw that out there. Let's kind of jump into this video. We will be doing a very wintry looking makeup look and talking about The Thing, my thoughts, my opinions. I just watched this movie for the first time this week, literally yesterday, and then I watched The Thing 2011 today, actually. So I will be giving my thoughts and opinions on those. Okay, let's jump into it. We have these little cute little barrettes, the little skeleton hands. So I'm gonna start out with some Bear With Me primer setting spray. It's NYX. It's just not the same when you don't have a fan. That was not very dramatic. I wanted to be like, okay, ready? It's not the same, you don't have a fan. I got this thing off Amazon. Look how cute it is. I use a mix, so this is too light for me, this is too dark for me, but together they're the perfect shade. So I have the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. I'm not sure what color this is. It's pale light, actually. I guess it's pale light. There you go. And then this is the BB Cream Matte 9-in-1, which I love this, but this is so dark on me and it's light, of course. So we're gonna throw this on our skin. Don't want to get too much, just need a nice little thin layer to cover up this face, to give us a nice blank canvas to color on, basically. And while we're doing that, so today we will be talking about, first we're going to be talking about The Thing from 1982. Now this movie will always be extremely popular. I put a thing on Twitter, so I watch tons of horror movies and just movies in general, and I put something on Twitter, said, hey, now watching The Thing, I can't believe I haven't seen it before, yada yada, and I got I don't know, it was like 500, some people liked it, and tons of comments, and tons of people saying that this movie's in my top 5, my top 3, it's the best movie, my favorite movie. People love this movie so much, they go hard for it, and I get it. I like it. I like the movie. I have another mirror down here. I have like a mirror, and I have my phone, and I have a mirror. I get it. It's a pretty good movie. I like it. I personally would not say that I love it, but I'm also not a huge sci-fi, science fiction type person. Even though I 100% believe in aliens and like am all about the real stuff, but when it comes to movies like sci-fi, I don't know, when it goes into the horror, realm, like I usually can watch it or will watch it just because like it's a horror movie, and sometimes I like it, but for the most part they're just not my favorite thing. So the movie was really good. So I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this movie and then I'll go into some of my favorite scenes and stuff like that, and then I'll go into the 2011 my thoughts, favorite scenes, stuff like that. So we'll go on from there. And also, I don't know how, leave down in the comments like what you guys think about this video. I also put on Twitter, asked people if they would want to see me do like makeup and talk about horror movies, and I would say I put that out there thinking that people would be like, no, like not really, like it's not that interesting. And there was a lot of people, like 90-some% on Twitter and literally 100% on Instagram. A lot less people voted on Instagram, but still, I was like, oh, it was like a very, I don't know what that word is. Resounding? Resound? I don't know what the word is. And then someone else said that I should do a live stream. And I'm like, I mean, I would love to do a live stream, so it's like I'd be able to like interact and talk to people. Not that I could even freaking see you. I would not be able to be doing my makeup because I can't see because I have my glasses on and I don't wear contacts, and I don't own contacts, I don't have contacts in my life, so I would not be able to see anything that's going on. But anyway, I digress. I appreciate all the people that interacted with me on Twitter, that interacted with my The Thing tweet, and that answered my polls, because I really appreciate when people answer my polls so I know what people want. And yeah, a lot of people wanted this, so here you go. And I love it too because I love talking and doing my makeup. This is a little bit more to edit, but that's completely fine. Usually I just end up doing like a makeup video and then a horror video, and I haven't done a makeup video in a while because I didn't think people really wanted it, and a couple people would ask about it, and I just didn't know. But I guess really I should just doing whatever I want to do. But I also want people to watch it and enjoy it. And if I like doing all these things and you want to see a couple of these things, then I'll just do those things I enjoy and you want to see. Like, two birds, one stone. I literally hate that saying because, like, animals did nothing to you, ever. They're innocent little babies. Okay, so we put on our face here, what is this even called? People want me to live stream. You know how much crap I cut out of here? Like, a lot. So I put on my foundation, and then we're going to throw on some concealer and make this look cute. So, okay. So many people interacted with my thing on Twitter about the thing. About the movie. And a lot of people were like, get ready to not sleep at night. Get ready, like, this is so scary and so gory. And I understand. Okay, this is a little controversial. But the thing is, so I understand that maybe this movie was freaky in the 80s, the 90s, whatever. Or maybe it's freaky to people now. Maybe I'm just desensitized because I watch so much horror movies. And I watch, like my favorite movie's Hostel. Like, I watch really gory, like, I love gore movies. I love crazy, like, I, like, want to find the movies that are the scariest. And I love them, my favorite. So, maybe it's that I'm so desensitized to movies. But when it comes to 80s movies in general, or pretty much anything, when it comes to most horror movies in general, I don't find them scary at all. Like, especially now because I've seen so many. The things that creep, and also, it depends on what creeps you out. So, if aliens and, like, even gore and, like, disfigurement is, like, what really kind of creeps you out, freaks you out, like, keeps you up at night, totally get it. Like, I get it. That's awesome for you. But for me, the things that creep me out, and it's funny because the stuff that I think is, like, creepy, people are like, this was so stupid, this was so boring. The things that creep me out are, like, ghosts and people breaking into people's houses and things that have a lot of jump scares in it and stuff like that. So, like, Paranormal Activity, Hell House, LLC, like, Conjuring movies, those things freak me out. Like, the whole Conjuring, like, world, like, the Conjuring universe at this point, they have the best scares, like, jump scares, like, when things just kind of sit in there, they look normal, and all of a sudden they're like, girl, my heart. But when it comes to gore and stuff, like, that stuff doesn't really freak me out, even though I said Hostel's my favorite movie, but it's more like, this is kind of stupid, but that's why I always say, like, they're fun movies to me, because, like, it's just kind of, like, I don't know what the word, I don't know how to explain it. I just like them. They're interesting, they're cool, I think it might be, like, the makeup and the effects and just everything that goes into it. And then with, like, I think with Hostel, it's more so the craziness of it all, how, like, things like this, obviously it's a movie, it's exaggerated, but things like this do exist in the world, and that's crazy to me. So things that are, like, about, like, the black market, about, like, the dark web, like, true crime, stuff like that, is really interesting and can be more freaky to me because it's more realistic. Like, The Thing, not so realistic. And like I said, I do believe in aliens and UFOs, but I don't think they're gonna come. I don't think that's, like, what's out there. Could be. I mean, we have all kinds of, like, crazy animals and stuff that, you know, in a different world or universe, planet, whatever, could be considered, like, really terrifying, like a great white shark. Imagine you live in a world where there's only, like, cute little goldfish and cute little fish, and then all of a sudden there's a great white shark. But that's from our planet. Or, like, a kraken or something. Like, that is pretty terrifying. I mean, even we have horror movies about sharks and stuff, which I love shark movies. Yeah, and those even actually kind of freak me out sometimes. But not that I can't, like, sleep, but just because personally, I love the ocean. And then I also love shark horror movies. And I think that's why I love it, because, like, freaks me out, because I love spending time in the ocean, on the ocean, around the ocean, even though I live in Ohio, but I mean, I'm not that far from the ocean. I mean, when you live in Ohio, nothing's really that far. If you can drive there in 10, 12 hours, not that far. It's fine. I'll drive there in a day, half a day. Yeah, but so a lot of people were kind of, like, saying how, like, creepy it was, and then also too, it's like, when did you watch this movie? You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are like, oh, I saw this when I was a kid and it terrified me. Well, a lot of movies I saw as a kid, like, that freaked me out, and now as an adult, I'm like, well, that was kind of, like, not, it wasn't scary. Like, they were good movies, whatever, but they weren't really scary. And then it's just so, and then also, like I said, I'm 26, so I didn't grow up with that. Like, we didn't really watch 80s movies, and my parents, like, no one in my family is really into horror, so, like, I grew up just watching, like, comedy and action. Like, that's all my family watches, like, comedy and action, which is, like, fine, they're good movies too. But I kind of like getting into horror is kind of like my own thing. It's kind of like just like my thing, basically. And yeah, so I never grew up with anyone that was like, oh, watch these, you know, awesome 80s movies, like, or these classics or whatever. I grew up watching like, I think the first Nightmare on Elm Street I watched was like the newer one, like made in like the 2000s. Like, the first Friday the 13th I watched was like the newer one made in the 2000s. Like, I grew up with Saw, Final Destination, One Missed Call, like, when a lot of the Japanese remakes that were like kind of Americanized versions or whatever came over. Like, I grew up with all of that stuff, like early 2000s stuff. So yeah, I think that's kind of the difference. Getting back to this movie, see, someone wants me to do live streaming, and I do a lot of rambling and a lot of getting off track, but if that's what y'all want, that's what y'all get. So let me know down in the comments, do you want a live stream? Okay, so The Thing, 1982, John Carpenter's directed this movie, starring, what's his name, Kurt Russell. I know who Kurt Russell is, by the way. I forgot, you know. I really like this movie. I thought it was really good. I personally think of it more of like an action horror movie, and there was definitely gory parts, but it's not like the goriest thing I've ever seen, and it was really only gory like whenever like the thing kind of showed itself. But the death scenes, top notch, amazing. I love them. So I will share with you a few of my favorite death scenes and a few of my favorite parts, which I'm sure you kind of already know what the best parts are if you watch this movie, love this movie, whatever. And yeah, so one of my favorite parts is when, let me see who this was. I just watched this the other day, so don't freaking crucify me because I can't, like, I kind of wrote their names down, don't know how to say them. So one of my favorite scenes, which I'm sure is like everyone's favorite scene, is when Vance is on the table. I think he's dying. He has like the thing in him, whatever. He's on the table. And this is like not the very beginning, but probably like the first like quarter away into the movie. And also this will have tons of spoilers. I'm breaking down these movies a little bit, talking about my different parts I loved and like the beginnings, the ending, the whole thing. So I would say when I first started this movie, I saw the dog running. They were like shooting at him, and I was like, ah, don't, like, rude, like, he's a puppy, so cute. And then once they were like kind of getting into it, I was like, okay, like, if obviously if that was the only thing they let into their place, their whatever, their bunker, what are you gonna call that, their site, obviously that had to be the thing. So after they brought the dog in, I was like, oh shit, they shouldn't let that dog in. But at the moment, in the very beginning, I was like, oh, this poor little puppy, like, rude. Anyway, so I just wanted to put that out there because it was just kind of funny to me. I'm like, that was like, of all the things to be, I mean, a person, they probably would have been like, you know, like, hey, like, what are you doing here, da da da. But an animal, especially a dog, especially like, I think it was a husky, like out in the Arctic, of course they're gonna be like, oh, come here, boy, like, come in. Like, not that the thing probably knew to become a dog, you know, just happened to be that way, but of all the things you could become, that was the best. That's the one that people were like the most inviting, like, yes, let me take care of you, please come into my home, do you need food and water and shelter? Like, that was like so smart to be a dog. Anyway, I digress. So the dog gets in there, and what am I doing now? I'm gonna do some powder. And he's basically, he goes in there and he's in the like kennel with the other dogs, and that part is crazy when the thing comes out of the dog and starts eating the other dogs. And I'm like, do you even call it eating? It's like almost absorbing them more so than eating them, honestly. And it's so crazy. And we're just doing some powder, by the way. We're gonna powder up where we did concealer. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, like, it was a lot. And it was just so cool. And they're, what are they? The practical effects, I guess what's called though. They are so freaking cool. Like, the way this thing is, and all the scenes is like so insane, so bloody and just like a mess. And I love it. And by the way, I don't get tons on here. I just get the one little like thing, and then I just use it everywhere. Because I don't want to get like, I don't like pack it, I don't know. This kind of keeps stuff from getting oily, which it won't get too oily anyway, because I'm going to do this for the video, take some selfies, and then probably take it off and go to bed, honestly. But anyway, so anyway, the thing with the dog was really cool. Well, then my favorite scene is when Vince, who I believe he's like the person that takes care of the dogs, he was at least the person that was in there with the dogs, like when that happened, the thing, the alien, whatever, kind of came out of them, and he gets the thing inside of him. So he's on the table. I think he's dead because they have like the paddles or like trying to resuscitate him, the Dr. Cooper, I believe. And as he goes to put the paddles on him, which he goes to put them on his stomach now that I think about it, which is really weird because like you're supposed to do it like higher up, like on the like chest, and then like, I don't know, like up by like basically his boobs. And they put it like, he went like right on his stomach, which would not have helped anything. I don't really know what the point of that was, but as he went to go sit the paddles down on his stomach, freaking Vance's stomach opens up and is like a mouth and is like, and then chomps down on his arms. And I was like, that was like so crazy. I would have to say every time the thing presented itself, it was in a way that I was not expecting, and I did like that. I like the whole movie. It's just, it's not that it has too much hype, it's just I had like so much hype going into it that I already knew it was an amazing movie. So when I watched it, I was like, yeah, this was really good. Like, you told me it was really good. I agree with you, it is really good. But I don't have like a ton more to add to it because like, you know how good it is. So I just wanted to share with you kind of my thoughts and what was going on in my head when I was watching this. So yeah, so I agree with you. It's great. It's probably one of my favorite sci-fi movies, mainly because I don't watch a lot of sci-fi movies. Like I haven't seen Alien. I kind of like, I googled the movie because I wrote down like some notes, whatever, to like kind of glance at what I'm doing, you know, my thing here. And basically all the like suggested movies I haven't seen. I'm just not a big Alien person. I don't know, which is like, again, so funny because I'm into UFO sightings and aliens and like I follow all that for the most part, but I don't really watch the movies. I am so into like Supernatural, but then I don't know, I think they just miss the mark with me when it comes, because they're always, I think it's just the fact that they always come down, they're like, which I get to horror movie, but they always come down, they're like these like slimy, green, like cancerous monsters. And that just makes me sad because like real aliens are probably not like that. They're probably like us, they're probably very diverse and think differently, and there's probably whole communities out there, and like, anyway, I digress. Not to get too like, it's just a movie, I get it. But I'm just saying, like, I just always think, I'm like, well, I don't know, it's so unrealistic to me to the point where it's not fun watching a lot of them. But this one, again, is more so of an action, horror. I dig it, I'm here for it. So, but yes, I love that part when his freaking, like, came and clamped down on his hands, and they were just like just bit his hands off. It was so crazy. Let's jump into our, let's do our eyebrows. I always forget my eyebrows until like the very end. I'm like, oh, I need to do those. So let's do our eyebrows. We're gonna throw in some, I always just use eyeshadow. I have a brow pencil, but I just like shadow. It looks better, you know? It's fine. It happens. So we're gonna do that. Hi. If you hear a cat in the background, it's little Luna. Little Luna Baboona. Also, put down in the comments what your favorite scene is from this movie, because I want to know. I'm sure a lot of them are the same scenes. But I'm just kind of curious. So then my other favorite scene, my second, well, I have like 3 favorite scenes. So the first one, I guess 4, because I really like the dog too. But between the dog, there's so many good scenes. This is a really good movie. So between the dog and like seeing like the dog face come out and like the monster, the thing, whatever you want to call it, and then the stomach that eats the guy's hands, like that's classic. That's just like a classic scene. I don't know. And so then also I love when they're on the couch. So there's a scene where they are doing like a blood sample thing. I have to move this mirror closer to me. I think I have it. Oh, I have this one. They're doing like these blood sample things. And to be honest, I don't even know what they're putting in it. They're putting something in the blood to make it like react. So if you are the thing, it'll react, and like it'll say that you basically show that you're the thing. Whatever, you have the thing in you, however you want to describe that. And it gets down to Palmer, I believe. And if I get the people like wrong, I apologize. I did look this up and I tried to figure out who was who as the best I could. And I believe it's Palmer. Leave. What is wrong? They just want all the attention. Sophie, my other cat, she was over here too trying to get attention. I'm like, I'm so sorry, baby girls, but I'm doing some here. I'm busy. Anyway, so Palmer is on the couch. Usually I use something a little bit darker, but that's fine. Okay, so I'm grabbing a darker eyeshadow to throw up on my eyebrow. So the scene where they are testing the blood samples, and there are 3 guys that are tied up to the couch because they're like the 3 that could possibly have the thing in there. Like, they've kind of narrowed it down a little bit. And the 2 other guys, the main character, which is what's his name? RJ McCready. McCready? I think it's McCready. So RJ McCready, who's like the main character, he has a flamethrower, and then another guy has a flamethrower, and they test one of the person, Palmer's blood, and it like basically, the blood basically jumps out at them because, you know, it has a thing in it. And so the guy, he basically just stares into space and starts like seizing. And not that seizing's funny, but like, and you know, basically that's what he's doing. His body's just kind of shaking, but he's not really paying attention because he's not really even him at this point. It's like the thing. And he starts to like, what was the word that I put pop open. I didn't know how to explain what happened, but he basically starts to like pop open. And you ever have like those toys where like you squish them and the eyeballs pop out? That's basically what he did, but like slowly. So it was like the thing was slowly squishing him from the inside out, and his eyeballs were starting to bust. And he kind of like, all of his skin, everything's kind of busts away, and then he's just like red flesh. And one of the guys, which I did not write his name, I forget his name, but one of the guys who has the flamethrower, not RJ, the other one, RJ's like, get him. So he like turns to get him, and all of a sudden Palmer's head opens up and is like a mouth, and he's like one of those big, what are they called? Oh, Venus flytrap. It's like a Venus flytrap from like Mario. Basically, it has like the teeth, and it like chomps him, and it grabs his head, and you would think it would chomp down, like take his head off, but really it just grabs his whole body and like flings him around. And that whole part, it was just like, what parts did you find scary? I mean, I'm not trying to be like edgy, like, oh, it wasn't scary. I just like honestly don't know, like, what parts did you think were like freaky? But I think maybe because it's been out so long that maybe it's all been kind of ruined through just media and just pop culture and just people talking about it, that maybe nothing like really got to me, like nothing, like I kind of knew everything was going to happen for the most part. I don't know. I mean, I didn't know those scenes were going to happen, but I kind of had an idea of like what to prepare for. I don't know. I want to know what you thought was scary about it. My cat's over here heavy breathing. Sometimes I don't know if I get these too dark or not, but I don't know. Whatever you do, you just gotta go with it and make the most of it, right? You gotta make the most of life. Don't you forget it. So anyway, so I love that part when he basically has his head in it's his mouth, but it's his head, I don't know, in the thing's mouth and the guy's head, whatever. And it's just like swinging him around. I'm like, Jesus. And then the other guys, I would say that was probably the scariest part of it all, was just the fact that it was tied down to 2 other people on the couch. So all 3 of them were tied together basically. And that would have been terrifying, just the fact not being able to get up. So I guess that part could be kind of creepy, I guess. Kind of scary. Well, not kind of. I mean, if that was real life, like, it would be scary as shit. This eyebrow never cooperates with me. So however it ends up, we're just going to take it as it is. All right? We're not going to complain about it. We're just going to take it as it is. Say thank you. Okay. What's my other thing? Oh, also, as I think everyone likes this part. So once the guys get up off the couch, they test, what is his name even? Gary. I love Gary. They test Gary's blood at like the end of, I think it's after the couch scene where the guy, I'm guessing they catch him on fire. I just watched this last night and I can't remember. So they eat the guy's head. I'm guessing the thing gets caught on fire. But anyway, there's a scene where Gary, he's still tied up and sitting on the couch because they still think Gary is a thing. They still think that he's a thing. And he sits there, they check his blood, he's not, they're relieved, and then he's like, I know that you boys have been, maybe said Ben, I don't know. He's like, I know that you guys have been through a lot today, but I don't want to sit here all winter on this effing couch. And it's just so funny. I don't know why, it just is. And he just gets so pissed because I think he's just he's so calm, and then he just like gets irate, and they're like, oh yeah, you're still there, we forgot you're still tied up. I just love that part. I was like dying laughing. That's why I love like 80s horror movies. Oh, and also this whole thing, let me finish this eyebrow and then I'll finish this thought. That is as good as we're gonna get it. It's actually pretty good. I'm here for it. So then also, so when I was watching this, I got very, like, again, I don't watch a lot of, like, sci-fi horror type movies. So I got a lot of Reanimator vibes from this, from, like, the gore part of it. Well, I guess both sides of it. But it really felt like very Reanimator slash Society. Like, those are the kind of, like, vibes I got from, like, the vibe of this, or, like, the gore and horror part of this whole thing. And even some, like, sly remarks and stuff, like, I don't know. I think maybe even some of the same people worked on this. I'm not sure. They're all from the 80s, so like they could have been. And that was kind of like the theme, you know, that was kind of like the feel of movies back then. So I just loved it though, because I love Reanimator. Society was a pretty good movie. I like Society. It just got a little bit too weird for me. Like, not like uncomfortable, it's just like weird. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I guess someone commented on one of my The Thing posts that I did yesterday, I believe, and said that it was actually more like The Body Snatchers. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that, I guess, because they said that The Thing was more like The Body Snatchers. I have not seen The Body Snatchers. Also, I don't know if I've already said this in this video. Maybe I have, but if not, I just wanted to throw all that together. Yeah, so those are some more recommendations for you. Okay, I am moving on to The Thing 2011. So 1982, it was great. Kurt Russell was great. John Carpenter was great. Those scenes were my favorite. The practical, is that what it is? Practical effects. Yeah, the practical effects, amazing. A+. I loved The Thing in every single scene. The death scenes were cool. I loved it. So let's talk about 2011. So 2011, I originally thought the 2011 version, I keep opening and closing this because I keep forgetting what I'm doing. The 2011, I thought was a remake. I did not realize that it was basically a prequel to the original, which I actually like that it is, but I thought it was just a remake. So I actually put on Twitter, like, which do you prefer, the 1982 or the 2011? And basically everyone except for like probably 5 people, I don't know the exact numbers, but like except for like maybe like 3 or 5% said that they prefer 1982 over 2011, but a lot of people were basically letting me know, like, hey, just, you know, this is actually not a remake, it's a prequel. I didn't know that. Thank you, horror movie Twitter, whatever. I appreciate you so much. So, because I almost watched the 2011 one before I watched the 82 one, because sometimes I just assume that I'll like the newer ones more just because of my age and again how I grew up and kind of everything I said in the beginning of this video. I just assumed, but I didn't even know, which it really wouldn't matter because it would have been a prequel anyway, so it would have literally just led me into the next movie, so I guess it really doesn't matter. But anyway, we'll get into that. So the star of this movie is actually Kate, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays Kate, what's your last name? Lloyd? Kate Lloyd. She's the main person. She's like a doctor. I think she's an archaeologist, actually. The guy who oversees it all, I don't know his name. He basically reached out to her and he's like, hey, we found this crazy thing. Can you come and look at this? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, you have to answer me right now because it's so important. You have to answer me right now. And she's like, okay, I'll go then. I'll go because I'm an archaeologist and I want to go see this amazing thing that you have to have an answer to right now for. So she goes, and as they're looking at it, it's like this, they find like the spaceship, they find this crazy thing that's in the ice, and they have a whole crew, a whole team, they go in, and they get this thing out of the ground, and unthaw it, or break it open, or whatever, and basically unleash the thing. So this one had some pretty good kills and stuff in it too, but the CGI, I would say, okay, not all CGI is bad. I'm not going to say all CGI is bad. I, again, grew up in this world of CGI, so some of the effects are pretty cool. Some of them are like, whatever. But I feel like they should have went back to the practical effects. I feel like that would have been so just cool. But then also I get that it's like 2011 and CGI is a thing, heavily a thing, and they wanted to bring it to a more like relevant, I don't know, more like kind of nowadays how we do movies, but the CGI just didn't do the practical effects justice, you know? So that's what I want to say about that. But still, a lot of scenes were really cool. I still enjoyed them. Some people were like, oh my god, they're so stupid, but I still like them. I still like the movie too. I prefer the original, but the 2011, I don't think it should be knocked on. I feel like people give it too much hate. I feel like sometimes there are movies that people just love to hate, and I feel like this is one of them. And the thing is, it's not even a remake, so it's not like, I mean, obviously you can have an opinion. Either you don't like it, you like it, or you can like it more than, or you can like the 82 one more than the 2011 one, but it's not a remake, so it's not like you have to really choose between the two. Not that you have to choose anyway. You can like everything, anything, or nothing. Do whatever you want. So I'm using this light color shade up here called Flat Earth. This is actually the mini controversy palette. I'm only telling you that so you have the colors. I don't stand for anything that the creators of this palette stands for, just so we know, just so everyone knows. I just use my hard-earned money to buy all the stuff that I used throughout this video, and I'm going to keep using it because I bought it, but I don't agree with anything that they do, say, did, anything, period. Just want to throw that out there, just so you know, for the people that care about the makeup part of this. Okay, so I'm going to dip into this light blue color with this like rounded fluffy brush, and I'm gonna pat some of that off, and then I'm gonna take this up and just kind of do like out here around my eyelid a little bit, because it's like this light color. This is a very light shade, by the way, and we're doing this icy blue for this winter movie, you know. And this would be a great movie to watch like around the holidays and stuff, and even right now because it's, you know, still wintry, so it's still kind of nice to watch. I am surprised I haven't seen it yet. And you know what's funny? So here's like a little tidbit, a little funny thing. So as I've said in this video, and if you've made it this far, thank you so much. But I don't know, I'm just trying to give people what they want or do what I want, whatever. So a little tidbit about me. One time, I don't know what year this was or how long ago this was. I think I was a teenager, and I think I was watching Netflix, and I was looking for a horror movie, and I swear they had The Thing on there. It was Netflix or some type of streaming service, and The Thing was recommended, and I, again, know nothing about horror movies except for that I like Saw and Final Destination. That's literally it. And I saw Thing as a recommendation, and I didn't even know who John Carpenter, like, I don't know anything. And I saw it as a recommendation, and I was like, that is so stupid. I was like, that just looks so dumb. Because I didn't know what it was. And I did not have an open mind. I, like, basically liked slasher movies, like gore movies, paranormal movies. I still all the same shit I like. Only I didn't like found footage films then either. I thought they were stupid too. And now it's like my favorite thing, and I watch all the found footage films I can possibly physically watch because I love them so much. So, and I love 80s horror too, and I used to think it was so stupid just because, like, again, I grew up, I guess, in, like, CGI world, and I used to think, like, the effects and stuff weren't, like, I thought they were kind of, like, silly, and now I'm older, I appreciate them, and I think they're actually really cool. But as a kid, I guess I was a very cynical child. There's also that. I guess there's also that aspect. But I always remember, because I remember seeing it as a kid, and I was like, that's so stupid. Like, that looks dumb. Knowing absolutely nothing about it. Just seeing literally just from, like, the front, I was like, stupid. Never gonna try watching that. And now here I am doing a review. A good review at that, saying how good it is. And I like the 2011. Okay, so the 2011 one, literally some of my favorite scenes were when, I think, I have her name wrote down. So Juliet, she was like, I don't know who the hell she was in the thing, honestly. She was like one of the other women there. This was just after Kate realized that, like, the thing can, like, replicate, like, people's, basically, like, their cells, their bodies, their everything. They can become a person. And they're having a big meeting, and she's like, hey, this is a thing, da-da-da. And of course, not all the guys, but, like, the main guy there is just like, oh, whatever, like, we're gonna do whatever, we're gonna get out of here, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And she's like, we can't just take this back with us, like, one of us could be the thing, like, it's here with us. And then everyone leaves, and Juliet's like, oh, I know something you don't know. I think it's this guy over here. He looks real sketchy, and he went into, because what it was is Kate found, like, it was like a bathtub, it was like covered in blood, where this thing, like, I don't know if they like eat the people or whatever, but basically it drops all the stuff. So like what it was is it was like the caps on the teeth. It can't simulate the caps on the teeth, so it can only simulate like the physical, like, stuff that we can create naturally. It can't simulate other things. So I wonder if, like, hair color, like, would it be able to simulate like purple hair? Because that's not, like, the original, it's not the dye, you know what I mean? So, like, that would really give it away, wouldn't it? Anyway, I digress. But anyway, but Juliet's like, it was that guy, da-da-da. And then she's like suggesting to Kate that we should take all the keys away so no one can leave because we don't want this thing getting out there. And she's like, okay. So her and Juliet just go to this like closet, this room. And all of a sudden, as Kate's searching for these keys, Juliet like starts making this weird ass noise. And Kate knows. She knows it's on. And all of a sudden you look at Juliet and first of all, the CGI, I don't think it was the worst. Like, it's not as good as the original, obviously, but like the practical effects and overall practical effects look cool. Because I've seen a lot of movies that they could have been good, but the CGI was just like, not it, sis. It was not it. Like, completely missed the point. But anyway, in this one, I actually don't think this movie was the worst. Like, I don't think it was the worst. I do think it should have been named something else. That was like my first key points. Why was it just called The Thing? Why wasn't it called like The Thing, The Beginning, or The Thing, even 2, or I mean literally anything, just The Thing 2. I mean literally anything. It could have been named anything other than just The Thing. And then you just have to search by it for like a year, 2011. Especially when it was a remake. It was a prequel. Like why did you do this? What was the point of this? Was it just to like so it got attention? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was named that just so people would watch it and basically think it was a remake. I don't know. But if that's not what you're going for, like, own what you're going for. Like, own it. I don't understand. Anyway, I digress. But anyway, so Kate and Juliet, they're in this, like, room, and she looks over, and Juliet's, like, basically, like, her freaking head's, like, cocked backwards, and this thing is, like, coming out of, like, her neck, and, like, out of, like, I don't know, her whole body kind of, like, opens up almost, and this thing's, like, part of it, and the little tentacle things come out, and Kate runs away, and it's just a whole thing. But the way Juliet's head is just like this and like dangling like as the thing's running, that like kind of freaks me out. It like doesn't like scare me, but I would say like when people's heads or like even their body, when they're just like no longer like, when they're just kind of dead there and they're just like kind of like dangling, I don't know, it kind of freaks me out. I don't know why, it just does. I'm not sure. Alright, let's go in with I do like this really light blue color. It's really cute. So it's called the Simulation. Oh, the Simulation. Look, it kind of goes with what's going on here. It's really shiny. It's this right here. It's real shiny. I think I want to put this maybe like in here and then maybe do this canceled. God, the irony of this palette is like really just begets me. But we'll do canceled, which is this blue shade, kind of like on this side of our eyelid, and then the shiny and the inside of our eyelid, and we'll see what it looks like. Maybe it'll look like trash, I don't know, but this is literally what I do with my makeup. I just like do things, I'm like, sometimes I'll be down here forever, or up here forever. I'm in the attic now, so you know, I moved. But anyway, so I love that. So basically Kate, she does get away, spoilers, as I've said, she gets away, and she's like the main character anyway, so you know she's not gonna die like right away. And of course none of these men like believe her. They're just like, oh whatever, you know, you're just saying this shit, whatever. Well, the thing runs out, and I don't know what guy it was, and one of the guys were like what's wrong, because they hear all the ruckus, because they're like, basically Kate's like knocking the shit over trying to get away from this thing, whatever. And so she runs out in the hallway, and the thing, Juliet, whatever, follows her, and it looks like it's like a freaking creepy alien thing, and all of a sudden it just grabs this guy and is like eating him, and then these other people run, and they're like, hey, da-da-da, and then she like slams the door, and you can hear it like eating this guy, like fighting with this guy, whatever, and everyone's looking at each other like, what the fuck? And I just love that. I think it's just, like, I freaking knew it was Juliet too. Like, as soon as they were talking, and it's always, you know, that person's like, oh, this guy, you gotta watch him, you gotta watch him, and I'm like, bitch, we gotta watch you, honey. Like, tell us we gotta watch him just because he looks a little weird. Like, girl, we gotta watch you. We know who to be watching. I liked 2011. I would say I feel like I have more to say about the 2011 because I literally just watched it hours ago, and the other one I watched last night, which obviously was not that long ago. But it had a lot less hype too. So again, I went into it thinking it was shit, and it was actually like a decent movie. Like, I wasn't mad about it at all. I think it was a pretty good movie. It was a pretty good prequel. Wasn't as good as the original. The original is a great movie, and this one was a good movie, you know? But I don't think it was terrible. Like, people should talk it so much like it's so bad, and I don't think it's so bad. Okay, I'm here for the shimmer. This is gonna be a whole look. And I kind of just like pat and grab, because I want it to be like in a certain space, or a certain place, you know what I mean? other favorite parts from the 2011 version was how it tied in, which I knew it would do this, and I was like waiting for it the whole time. So in the 1982 version, they go to the, there's like a burnt down camp. I don't know what they're called, but I'll call it a camp. And so they go to this like camp that's in the far off distance, and it's all burned down. And basically in the prequel it shows that camp, why it was there and everything, and what they were doing there, why it's burned down, the whole thing. And obviously it's because of the thing, and then he gets away as a dog. So when you get into the first one, which is actually the 1982 one, kind of confusing, but not really, the dog is the thing that escaped from them, and they're in the helicopter trying to shoot down, not Kate, but two other guys, and they're trying to shoot down the dog because they know it's not a dog. It's like, you know, they're like, it's a demon or whatever you want to call it. And of course, these people just see these people shooting at a poor little puppy. So they're like, how dare you shoot this poor little dog? Like, that's so rude. And that's when they bring in the dog. And then I don't know exactly what happens to, like, the helicopter. I always watched this last night. But anyway, but they end up going, the people in 1982, they end up going to the camp that is down the way, because they fly there. They take their helicopter over there. And when they get over there, they just see everything's burned down, and then there's like this weird alien looking body with like two heads kind of like together, and this weird, you know, body, whatever. So in 2011 version, they show how that happened, and basically one of the guys, you know, is the thing. It starts to like come out, and they were trying to go through, so I told you about like the caps on the teeth, how it can't recreate things that aren't like naturally from the body. So, little hair thing. So they go through, and Kate's like, well, let's see who has caps in their teeth. And this guy was like, so I'm gonna be penalized because I floss. I'm like, now every kid that watches this is not ever gonna floss again. But anyway, so the guy who says that, I believe, is actually it's like the guy that's like really close to her. I think he might be the guy that even like talked her into going out there in the first place. Like they're friends outside of this place, but she like can't trust anyone, you know. It's her life or her friend. Like, what do you do if if you're not alive? Like, what's the point of having friends at that point, I guess. And so one of the guys that are over there with him that apparently also don't have caps in their teeth, whether they floss or are a thing, the one, like, the thing starts to come out, however, that like boils up, and no one's like trying to get like, you know, go and like fight this thing, because it just like kind of swallows everything in or eats everything, whatever. So the guy, he's on the ground, the thing climbs on top of him, which kind of got me too. I was like, it's like, that'd be quite such situation, just like the first one, how the guys are all tied to the couch like that. I think just being stuck in that one position is like what would be like too much for me to handle. This is quite the blue, but we're really just going with it at this point. And so, anyway, so the guy that has the thing inside of him, he crawls on top of her friend who, you know, is like, just because I don't floss, da-da-da. And he basically, like puts his, like, deformed face at this point on his face, and he, like, sucks his face in. And then all of a sudden he, like, is on, I don't know, I think it's his arms, but also it's like, you know, the thing's arms, and he like is like scooting away from her, like where it's showing the camera, into another room, and he's dragging this guy's body with him because their faces are like meshed at this point, and it's so weird and crazy. But I do like that they like put that in there to show like where this came from, like what happened. Now I'm gonna go in with this Canceled right here. It's a little bit lighter of a blue. This is literally how I do my makeup. Like, I just like play around with stuff. It looks a little crazy right now, but it will become something, I promise. I would say if I was going somewhere after this, I wouldn't have went with such like bright blue colors and so many blues, but I just want to use all these colors, you know? And you always tone down with white. So if you ever get a little too overzealous with colors, you just tone it down with some white. And I promise it'll more than likely look fine. And intentional, which is the real key here. So what are your guys' thoughts on this movie? I'm really curious. Well, I guess most of you have actually probably already said on the Twitter thing, to be honest. But if you haven't put on the Twitter thing, or if you just want to reiterate, or if you have any comments on what I've said, maybe you don't agree with me and you're like, girl, You know what you're talking about. You got some blue ass eyeshadow. I went into the sparkly now, and I'm gonna kind of like go in and try to like cut this out a little bit. I just gonna switch back to my more like fluffy brush and do that again. This is what I'm always afraid of, that I'm like done talking about the movie before I'm done with my makeup. That's okay. The more I do this though, the better I'll get at like jumping back and forth and just everything. So if you like this, let me know. Like I said, everyone said they liked it, but then, or that they would like it, but then I don't know, like I don't know if you'd actually like it. This is like really big, but I feel like when I'm done, I'll just look like I have like big eyes, and I love it. Okay, now I'm just using the back of this brush back into this like this middle shade. I'm gonna go back over where I put it on this other side of my eye. This is quite the choice. And I kind of want to do like crazy color underneath it. See, when you start getting crazy, you gotta get more crazy, and then it looks cute. People right now are like, girl. All right, I'm going back in with this very light blue color, and I'm gonna go up here between the darker eyeshadow and my eyebrows where I did it before, like before I put this before, just to try to soften this all up. And I went up around and then even under this point as well. That's what you want to call it. It's actually really cute. Like, I'm not mad about it. Cute. And I know someone, so like back to The Thing, people recommended a book called The Thing. There's also another movie from like the 50s, which I just didn't watch because this is actually really cute. Like, I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of glad. So I've been doing a lot of like this is I Heart Revolution. This is like a just kind of the pink powder, and I've been doing a lot like right here and on my nose and stuff. But with the blue, I didn't want to do like pink, like too much pink going on. When I do like pinks, purples, reds, literally another color. But the blue, I don't know, I just like wasn't feeling it. I kind of don't want to do an eyeliner. I kind of just feel like this is like a look. And we're gonna do some lipstick. We can throw on some highlighter. I thought that I would have so much to say about these movies before we got into there. You know what though? I watched Reanimator and the Bride of Reanimator. Who is a fan of those? I'm curious. Let me know down in the comments. Really just like the 80s, like horror, like, I don't know, like you can definitely tell the different, like the, not really the difference, but you can just kind of tell like the decade that movies are made. Because there's definitely like a different type of theme, you know what I mean? Like 2000s have like a specific thing to them, and like all these different decades just have a very specific feel. A feel, that's what it is, a feel. I feel like this should go straight across. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm hunting something. I think it's cute though. You know what I forgot, which I'm gonna add right now? Ooh. I forgot to do like a little bit of a, yeah, that. That I do use this. So I use this Diet Root Beer in the middle. I'll use that to contour. It's actually really nice for contouring. And I just kind of dab it. Because you don't want to get like too much. Sometimes I get too much. And when you're doing like a bold eye like this, you just don't want to get too much, period. And then I have this like clean brush. I don't really do too much on my forehead because I don't know, when I put like contour up there, I feel like it draws too much attention to my forehead, and I don't like that. So we're gonna do highlight like in the corner of our eyes here. I love that, it's cute. I'd say if I wanted to, if I was feeling really brave, I could do like maybe I'll do it right now. Just like do this shade and do like a halo look. Oh, that's cute. I like that. This is literally what I just keep on keeping on. And then whenever you do a halo, I always take like the brush that had like the blue on it and kind of diffuse it from the sides. Because when you do a halo, you just want it in like kind of in the middle as much as possible. I mean, not that it has to be like a little strip. I mean, it can be a strip or it can be like a dollop, whatever you want. Alright, we're gonna throw some lipstick. So I have these two lips. This is really dark. I'm gonna go with the lighter one. Maybe we'll do like light and then dark in the middle. Or should we do, see where it goes. This is Breakfast at Tiffany's and I love that. This smells so freaking good. I love it. I'm gonna do some dark blue in the middle. Okay, I swear that I'll start doing some normal looks too. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to do normal looks. Let me see. Hairbrush to dabble this in. If you're still with me, I appreciate you. Alright, I'm just gonna take this and drag inward. Don't drag, but like dab and drag, you know what I mean? Like do. Okay, this looks kind of cute actually. I'm here for it. I need like dramatic, I should just do like I need like dramatic eyelashes. You know what'd be really cute? I'm gonna add it. So you know like girls, they have those like little like things. So really, if you want to do this, you could stop anytime. I'm just gonna keep on going. And that's fine. I think people in the real world do like glitter, but all I got is this bitch. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Am I giving off like e-girl energy yet? This is like what I do. I put a little bit of pink on it and then I use this brush. I apologize that my movie review and my makeup did not like last as long as each other. I should have skipped out, like I should have skipped on more of the beginning, like when I'm just doing like the basic, like, you know, what I do every single time. I do my concealer and all that stuff. And then I get into the fun stuff and I have nothing left to talk about. But I do need to concentrate more on this, but that's okay. I am like, okay, so at first I was trying to do like snow energy, and then I was like kind of like getting some Elsa energy, and now I'm getting like snow queen energy, but with like a little bit of the nose, and like I get like clown energy and I love it. Like if I was a horror character, I'd 100% be a killer clown. I'd be like art, but I'd be like art and doll face put together. I don't know if I can even help it at this point. Do you like these fun makeup looks? Or are you here for like normal makeup looks? Because I only have not normal makeup looks. So this is really cute. Okay, I would say I was a little skeptic at first, but this always happens. I get into my, I don't know, my like creative energy, and then stuff like this just comes out of it, and I'm living. Okay, we're gonna do a gloss. Because I'm kind of living for this matte, but I'm about to really live for this gloss. The pink, like my cheeks and nose, I just love it so much. I think it's so cute. I live for it. I live for it. Get the hair down because I'm a whole new person. My hair is down. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. Please let me know down in the comments if you liked this video. If you didn't like it, don't leave a comment. I don't want to hear anything negative. But yeah, I like it. I think this turned into something cute, something different. I think this video was fun. I actually gave a lot more input that I thought I would on the thing. Like I said, those movies aren't usually my favorite type of movies, like the sci-fi type horror. But when it comes to sci-fi horror, 1982, The Thing is on point. Love it so much. I probably would watch it again, probably like not right away because I just watched it, but like in a year or so. I'd probably revisit it. 2011, if you want more of The Thing, definitely watch it. But is it something I'll watch again? Probably not. I just have no need for it. Thank you guys so much for coming to my horror and makeup video. I appreciate it. Sorry if you wanted something natural and this is what I gave you. But hey, we're here for the fun, and this is fun. I love it. It's so cute. So anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, definitely Twitter, and my Facebook page at Chelsie Wrath. I love you guys. Have a fantastic day, and peace out.